Hello, Coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with defender Ronald Araujo, as it has been reported that a key Barca defender is out for 2 weeks and is expected to be back for the Copa del Rey Clasico in April 5th. We are going to be discussing on that report as we progress. Then, secondly, talking about this report claiming that Real Madrid have accused Barcelona ace Pablo Gavi of unsportsmanlike behavior in El Clasico that passed 2 days ago. We are also going to be discussing more on that. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. Barcelona defender Ronald Araujo has sustained a minor injury in his adductor and will be out of action for 2 to 3 weeks, according to Javi Miguel of AS. The 24-year-old finished Sunday night El Clasico against Real Madrid with discomfort in his adductor muscles and was spotted icing the region after the game. Tests were set at the to be conducted today, and the aforementioned report states that Araujo has been examined by the medical team, and it has emerged that the defender has an adductor overload which will sideline him for close to 2 weeks. This effectively rules Araujo out of action for the upcoming international fixtures. Ronald, Uruguay were set to travel to Asia to face Japan in Tokyo before taking on South Korea in Seoul. However, in a positive update, Javi Miguel states that the defender is expected to be available for Barcelona's Copa del Rey semi-final second leg against Real Madrid on April 5th. Araujo was part of the Barca team that beat Los Blancos 2-1 on Sunday at the Camp Nou. Starting as a right back, as usual, the defender scored an own goal early in the game, which gave the visitors the lead. However, he recovered well and ensured that Vinicius Jr. did not have a decisive impact on the proceedings. The former Boston River starlet was feeling discomfort during the game, but opted to play through it and helped his team get over the line. But with tests revealing an overload in his adductor region, Araujo will now likely stay in Barcelona and not travel with the Uruguayan national team for the friendlies. The defender could end up missing the La Liga game against Elche on April 1, but is expected to be back for the fifth and the final El Clasico of the season, as is the case with two other injured Barca stars in Pedri and Ousmane Dembele. Of course, what a Clasico it was on Sunday. Araujo doing well, even though he did not really pocket Vinicius Jr. like the other games, but I think it was a good performance. And just might be he was not that effective like he have always been in El Clasico, because he was not 100%. He was not 100%, as reports are saying that he opted to continue playing that game even though he knew that he was feeling some discomfort. And definitely he still did well to keep Vinicius Jr. at bay, even though Vinicius Jr. had some good moments of the game to bypass Araujo and do what he did, but couldn't score. But it's a shame to lose Araujo with injury after the Clasico, but I think we are fortunate that it is not a long-term injury, as they are saying it is 2 to 3 weeks, which means there's still a possibility that Araujo will be coming to play against Real Madrid, you know, in the same Camp Nou, like, after the international break at the Copa del Rey. So, which means he will not travel to Asia with the Uruguayan national team to play the friendlies. And I think it is better that, like, we can see Frankie de Jong as well has not been feeling fine and he's injured. Araujo also is injured, and those injuries are not long-term injuries, which means that the international break will give them that time to recuperate from their injury issues, and they will likely return for the El Clasico that will take place just after the international break in the Copa del Rey semi-final second leg at the Spotify Camp Nou. So let's hope that he recovers as soon as that time comes, even though there's a report of 3 weeks. But in 2 weeks' time, the international break will be done, and we're hoping that Frankie de Jong as well as Ronald Araujo will be back to continue putting up the good performances that they have been doing all season. Right now, we are 12 points ahead of Real Madrid in the league, which means the ball is in our court. We're in the driving seat. La Liga is ours to lose. We just hope that we keep winning, winning, winning. And for those who don't know, when Barca won the Clasico 2-1 on that Sunday, automatically Barca have qualified for the UEFA Champions League next season, which means that even if we don't win any game again, we have qualified, we have already made our spot in the top four in the league. But of course, right now, we are up there. Everybody expects Barca to win the league. I don't think Real Madrid themselves will be putting a lot of motivation to fight for La Liga because they know that the Barca can't lose 4 games from now to the end of the season except something really bad happens. So everything is in our hands. As I said earlier, the cup double would have the Copa del Rey also in our hands. Heading into that semi-final second leg at the Spotify Camp Nou with a 1-0 advantage that we did like we won 2 weeks ago at the Santiago Bernabeu, which means that in fact, everything is in our hands now to qualify, and Javi has this advantage to win the domestic double, which we have not done so for many years. Then on to the next story of discussion. According to The Athletic, Real Madrid did not like the attitude of Barcelona midfielder Gavi during the Clasico on Sunday and consider his behavior as unsportsmanlike after an incident involving Dani Ceballos. Barca came out on top of Real Madrid in what was a fiercely affair at the Spotify Camp Nou on Sunday night, securing a 2-1 victory that increased the advantage at the top of the table to 12 points, with the La Liga title seemingly all but won at this point. However, there were a few unsavory incidents during and after the game as tempers flared between the two sets of players, with as many as 7 yellow cards being shown on the night. One such incident involved Barcelona midfielder Gavi. The 18-year-old has made a name for himself for his fearlessness and aggression, and it was on full display during Sunday's night El Clasico. The teenager had one or two altercations with Real Madrid right back Dani Carvajal, but what has seemingly upset the merengues is an incident that involved Dani Ceballos. The Real Madrid midfielder tangled with Robert Lewandowski and, of course, seemed to push the Barca striker, after having played the ball forward in the 88th minute. Gavi noticed what Ceballos had done and backed into Real Madrid midfielder, who theoretically went to the ground and rolled. This has seemingly left the current champions of Spain questioning the Barcelona star's attitude and behavior, allegedly pointing out that toughness is one thing and lack of sporting behavior is another thing, accusing him of the latter. While they are leveling accusations at Gavi, Real Madrid should also look at the behavior of some of their own players. Dani Carvajal went after Barca youngster Arno Tenas after the match, going as far as putting his hands on his neck. Classical encounters are very well known for this kind of fierce nature, and it is not out of place for players to tangle, more so given what was online in that Sunday's Classico.